And it's basically just kind of a hunting camp somebody cobbled together. It's been here since, I think, the 70s. Welcome back to Procrastination Garage. My name's Matt. So what did we do this week? Well, we camped, we explored, we recycled, we cleaned. Sound like a winner, right? Please hang around till the end. Please subscribe. Please hit the like button. And please tell all your friends. Thanks. When you walk into my shop, you've got this workbench area just inside the door. And the whole idea is this is an area where I work on things, supposedly. But you know what it is. It's just a place that stuff lands and never gets put away. And it's junky. So we need to straighten this area up a little bit. On this side where the vise is, most of the stuff on the table there are tools. And then as we move around, it's just junk. So let's see if we can get this cleaned up a little bit, because we've got a future project coming up. Won't be in this week's video, but we need a cleaner area to work in. So what do you think? Is that a good way to wrap up a Tuesday? I think so. Look at that. It looks pretty good. Okay, so I hung a few things up that are not hung up well, not organized, but that's because I've got to redo this pegboard, and soon I'm going to be adding pegboard there and maybe over here too. If so, that'll be upcoming Procrastination Garage project. So that there is the boat cover to replace the cover that's on the boat right now that's ripped. So that's why that's sitting there. I'm kind of going to, my goal is to keep this area for YouTube Procrastination Garage projects. Be able to stack them up here and we'll get to them one by one. So we'll call that one of the projects. So full disclosure, I did put some of the stuff off of the bench over onto this tabletop here. Mainly it's just miscellaneous nuts and bolts, which need to be sorted. And I'm not doing that today. I'm not sure when I'm getting to that. But I figure it's a little more organized. That down there, that was already like that. So, and then the other thing I did is I did have some little electrical pieces like cover plates and things. And I set them here. And the reason is because all my electrical stuff is over there. And I need to put it in the proper place. And I'm just not doing that right now. How you doing, Bear? You want to check food supplies? All right, let's do that. There you go, Bear. See that? You've got a full bowl there. You act like you've got a little bit of indigestion, so you probably shouldn't eat anything. Anyway, back to it. All right, we're calling that project complete for now, so let's move on to something else. It's late morning on Thursday, and while I should be getting ready for the weekend and going camping, I decided to head for the hills. Today was supposed to be a group ATV, UTV ride with my friends, and they're all a bunch of wimps. They all bailed out because it's a hot day today. I was going to go by myself, and then I got wimpy and didn't feel like unloading the lawnmower and loading the UTV up. So I figured the next best thing was to just head for the hills in a little Copper Toad, and maybe we do a little hiking around. And regarding the ATV, UTV ride, we've postponed it until next week. The plan is to go next Wednesday, I think. So anyway, let's go find some cooler mountain air. It's supposed to be near 100 in town today, so it should be 90 or less up in the mountains. Well, that isn't working right. We've gained just a little bit of elevation, and the temperature went from 93 to 94. Probably just a coincidence. All right, I don't want you to panic, but it's now up to 95 degrees. This is pretty amazing. I just turned off the main highway. We're at the elevation now where I do a lot of snowmobiling, and I don't know if you can read it. The temperature still reading 93 degrees. I mean, that's just crazy. It was 94 just before I made the turn. Usually by now it should be cooling down up here. We still got about another 1,000 feet of elevation to rise before we get to where we're going. It'll be curious to see. It's got to drop some more. We are now at lake level, Rimrock Lake to be exact. Temperature's finally dropped. We're down to 86 degrees now. So that's an improvement. You can see the lake out through there. It's a few minutes after noon. We're now on dirt. Temperature has dropped to 88 degrees, which is amazing. That's still pretty warm, but it beats the 94, 95 we were seeing earlier. It was time to stop and get out and enjoy some of the mountain air. Smells good up here even if it is hot. There's Mount Rainier off in the distance. She's not so pretty this time of year. All that's left is the glacier on top. Looks a lot better in the wintertime when you got a lot of nice pure white snow. Somebody's got their own little campfire ring right there. That's a pretty good place to have it. I mean, what a view. Of course, it'd be kind of a bear if the wind was blowing. You could set up a tent right there if you were tent camping. Not that far off the main road. The main road just right up there. When I got out of the car, temperature was still reading 88 degrees. I'll tell you what, it feels like it. A little bit of a breeze, that helps. So why do we come to the mountains in the summertime? To explore places to snowmobile in the wintertime. Where does that trail there go? A couple friends and I, we hiked back in there a little bit a couple of years ago, but we never found the end of it. I want to see if we can find a trail that connects up with another trail back in there. So let's walk. It's obvious it's an old logging road. Kind of forgotten in time. Nobody's been back here. Well, it's not totally forgotten. There's some marking tape there. And a little bit more over there. Somebody's been doing some marking back in here for something. And I see more marking up this way. See, I'm not the only one that spends time out here wandering through the woods looking for routes to go. Now, who did this? Is this a snowmobiler? A hunter? Who knows? You just never know what you may find when you're out walking through the woods. Somebody lost their knife. What I can tell you is we're not going the direction I'd hoped we'd be going. I'm using a phone app called Avenza with a map overlaid, and I'm tracking my route. And we're actually kind of heading back towards the main road that we're parked on. And I was hoping we were going to go off in a different direction to intersect another logging road. But hey, it's a route I've never been on. These are not recent saw marks, but it's obvious somebody has cut logs out of the way to keep this open at some point. Whoever cut the logs out of the way, it's obvious they were looking to cut it wide enough to get a Jeep or a pickup through here. And also they cut off some small little trees that were growing in the middle of the road. This is more than a little interesting. That's the direction we came. That was definitely like a logging road. I reached this point here, and I would guess the logging road originally went that way, but the markings indicate people going that way. And I'm not really seeing any tracks, but somebody's been cutting the branches off the trees. There's a blue marker up in there. So that's the way we're going to go. Another interesting thing is there's kind of a little trench coming right down through here. That to me looks like somebody cut a tree down and dragged it out of here. There's a lot of illegal harvesting of trees up here, probably for sawmill operations, although it's hard to say for sure. Well, that's cool. We found where it busted out on the main road. That'll make a great little snowmobile loop. So I'm out here wandering through the woods. You know, you think you're all alone. You know, I already found the knife. But then I found this game camera set up on a tree here. I actually found two of them. And he's got some salt or something down there. He's actually trying to get animals to come in here so I can take their pictures. Probably a hunter trying to figure out what's in the area. Who knows? I found this cute little spring-fed creek out here. I know it's spring-fed because this time of year it would be dry if it wasn't. It's nice, except I'm sure there's a ton of mosquitoes if I stand here very long. A nice little meadow here. You just never know what you're going to find back in the woods. A couple of years ago, I was driving up the road, and I just happened to be looking over, and the sun caught it just right, and I got a glint of this roof. And I'm like, my God, we've been snowmobiling by here for years, driving by for a couple of years, and never knew this was up here. So came up and checked it out, and it's basically just kind of a hunting camp somebody cobbled together. It's been here since, I think, the 70s. Long time. Got a picnic table, fire pit, a little messy. Pretty cool though. Got some firewood over there. And then they've got an extension cord going outside so you can hook a generator up. There's a sign on the door. Pretty dark in here, but I got my light on. You can see a little bit. Got a couple bunks and beds. Got a wood stove. We got a little kitchen area. Another cot over here. Looks like one folds down from the wall there. Yeah, they even left some canned goods up here. Pretty neat. There you go, 1990 it looks like. Well, 88. I don't know, I guess that's 1980 it was built. It's about 3:30. Time for me to hit the road, head for home. I need to be home by 5 o'clock to turn my sprinklers off so my neighbors have the water for the rest of the night. So this is what's called Tyler's Meadow, although technically it's not a meadow. At one time it was more meadow-like because all these trees weren't grown up. Looking up the sky, looked like it might be stormy. I'm guessing there'll probably be some thunderstorms up here tonight and for sure some rain showers. So it's probably a good thing we're going to hit the road and head for home. Just an old logging road. These are my favorite kinds. One thing kind of interesting today is all the roads up here have been graded since the last time I've been up here. And this one here has been graded really recently because there's not a lot of traffic on it since the grader came through. And temperature-wise, we're down to 77 degrees now. And the reason I say it's interesting is because for years and years and years, these roads up here have gotten no maintenance whatsoever. And this year, I noticed that Bethel Ridge Road we came across has been graded. Now all these roads up here have been graded. It's almost like the Forest Service has some extra money or something. Found the grader. Had to make a stop and look out over Rimrock Lake. You can see the water level is way down from what it was in the spring. They use this for holding irrigation water and they let the water out all summer long. You can see the dam down there at the end. Made it back to pavement. It's just after 4 o'clock. Now we need to get out to Highway 12 and figure out how long it's going to take us to get home. I'm not quite sure we're going to make it by 5. It'll be close. Back on Highway 12 and we got 51 minutes. I think we can do it. Unless we get behind some slow RVs or trucks or something. Because I spent the day playing up in the mountains, that means this evening I've got to get the motorhome ready to go tomorrow. Because tomorrow I got to get up, go mow the rental, and then when I get back I'm going to jump in the motorhome and head over to our campsite. So got to move some stuff out of the way, need to get the motorhome cleaned out, and I maybe have one more project in the motorhome. Motorhome is all cleaned up and I'm now taking it down to get gas about 7 o'clock on Thursday night. Filling her up with the good stuff. Premium non-ethanol, $5.99 a gallon. Yeah, we'll put just over $100 in. The reason we do that is because this motorhome doesn't get used that much and it's always got gas sitting in it. I'd just rather have some non-ethanol fuel in it. Shut her down at $125 and 20 gallons. Well, almost 21 gallons. That ought to get us through the weekend. It's Friday morning. I just got back from mowing the rental. I'm a little bit ahead of schedule, which is good. I've got a couple things I need to do. Everything's pretty much all loaded up, but I need to check the air pressure in the tires. Mainly it's the inside duals you got to worry about because you got to be able to see that they've got air in them. Isn't that right, Bear? And then also we got one more project on the inside, but let's check the air pressure. Awesome news, the air pressure checked out good on all 6 tires. It's good to have help too, huh Bailey? You came out to help too? So we got 2 cats and a dog all out here hanging around. Yeah, there's the dog. So if the tire pressure is good, why the air compressor? After watching last week's video, my wife's only comment is, oh, you're not going to fix the trim piece that's loose? No, that's not really what she said. But she didn't notice that the trim piece hadn't been fixed, and she was right. I just hadn't gotten to it yet. So let's do it now. I've got this small air gun here, and it's got some staples in it. and it says to use between 60 and 100 psi. So I'm going to start at 60 and work my way up. The goal is to secure it, but to not break the trim piece. So we want to get enough pressure to where it pushes all the way through, but not enough to where it destroys a trim piece. So it's kind of a hit or miss thing until you figure out exactly what pressure you need. All done. Added about 5 staples to it. You can see it's a little wavy going across there, but that's not me. That's just the roof itself. If I get real motivated, I'll come up with some touch-up paint and I'll make those better match. But that's kind of low on my list of priorities. So what was the magic PSI? About 72. Hit it on my second try. Just lucky. It's about 11:20 and I'm supposed to meet some friends at noon to convoy over to the campground. So I'm going to hit McDonald's first, so hopefully I'll meet them right at noon. But I think we've got everything. I think we're golden. We'll find out. Me and the dog. Family's going to come by tonight for chili dinner, and then my wife's going to come back tomorrow. She won't camp with me. She doesn't like my motorhome. We're going through the Yakima River Canyon. I'm tail end Charlie of our little convoy. Up and over Blewett Pass. Quite a bit of traffic today, being a Friday and all. This place is only about an hour and a half from home, so it's not too big of a haul to get there. Easy roads. Just top Blewett Pass. It's all downhill from here. No, literally it is just about all downhill from here. We made it down off the pass. We're almost to the campground. We're here. Camp is all set up. Let the weekend begin. These are our peeps. Look up there. Kind of smoky in the valley. I've been camping in this same spot for about 10 years, and this is the first time where the motorhome is truly level. One cool thing about this campground is it backs up to a little river. We don't have a campsite on the river, but some people do. Pretty nifty. What do you think, Skeeter? Think it's pretty nifty? You are witnessing something I've never seen before. The dog drinking water out of a river. It's Sunday morning. We're getting ready to break camp, head for home. Dog's getting ready to go to the bathroom. So overall, it's been a pretty good weekend. Unfortunately, we weren't without failure. The back curtain has been working just fine. The front one, not so much. Kept getting hung up on the screws, and it broke a couple of my pieces that I glued. At least 2, maybe 3. So we're back to square one with that. And just like that, we're headed home. Just came over the top of Blewett Pass, headed down the other side. It was a good weekend. It was fun hanging out with friends. Our business meeting for our Washington State Snowmobile Association was not real exciting. They never are. But that's all right. Like I said, fun time with friends, good food. So, what's next? It's Monday morning around 9:30. As you can see, the motorhome's back in its spot. But looking around, what don't you see? And my point is, the white truck is gone. And I was going to show you where it is. Down here at Pingree Ford. It was parked right there. they've already brought it inside, so now we're just waiting for a phone call. On Sunday afternoon, my wife and I, we brought the truck down and dropped it off, and the appointment wasn't until 10 this morning, so I thought it might still be parked out there. But yay, it's not. You see how hazy it is? It's actually smoke. There's some big wildfires somewhere, and they're really affecting our valley. It's not so much I was checking up on the Ford dealer, but my wife demanded I make a morning McDonald's run. Just got the dreaded call from the Ford dealer. Yep, needs new turbo. So he's quoting over $3,000. So, I mean, I was thinking probably close to 4. We'll probably be right about that. Worst part is, though, that even though they can get the turbo in about a week, they don't have an appointment open until like the 20th of September. Or at least that's when he says he thinks I'll get it back. So we're a month using just the green truck, which we kind of have been anyway. But we got to make sure this one stays running, because right now it's the only one, well, other than the motorhome, I guess, that's got a trailer hitch where I can tow stuff with. So on that note, let's get the Ford in for an oil change, because it's due. Even though the motorhome is out of the bay and I could pull a truck in there to do the oil change, I've got some lumber in there right now. And also, why not do it out here in the gravel, where if I do spill a little bit, it won't be the end of the world. The reason I'm doing it out here today is because if you look, there is absolutely no wind. And that's rare around here, there isn't a little bit. And it doesn't take much wind to blow your oil everywhere. So today it'll work just fine. Got all the materials we need. Bought some oil, 5W20. I need 6 quarts. I've got an extra quart because the thing does burn just a little bit of oil. We'll keep that on hand. Got some shop towels. I got a filter. I got the tools, something to put it in, and I think I can get this oil filter undone by hand, so we'll see. Well, that literally is black gold. It's been a while since this oil's been changed. Probably not a whole lot of miles really, but certainly a couple of years, I would guess. I don't know. I don't think I've changed it since I started doing videos on YouTube, though. Oh man, I guess I'm not gonna get that one. Let's go find a tool. It was so close, I could see it move just a little bit. I guess I should have the other one ready to go, and I don't. Put the drain plug back in. All right, we're done on the bottom. Now we just need to dump in 6 quarts from the top. And what's one more thing we should be doing? Windshield washer squirter, but I'm all out. So just an FYI here, I have written right here, 6 quarts and 16 millimeter. That means I need 6 quarts of oil, and it's a 16 millimeter wrench that undoes the oil pan. I try and put that on all the vehicles. Sometimes I also say what kind of oil and what the filter number is. On this one I don't really need to do that because I've been changing it so long I know what to look for. Before I slam the hood, I did have a little trouble with the latch when I opened it. This mechanism here getting a little stiff. So I've got some white lithium protective grease. We'll spray a little bit of that. See if that improves things any. That's got to be better. So why did I back the pickup in over there? Well, because I'd like to start cleaning this area up here. Most of this is metal that needs to be recycled. And while I can take it somewhere and they'll pay me for it, it's a big hassle really. There's not enough money in it. So there's another place you can take it where you can basically just dump it outside their fence and they will grab it in the morning. So my thought is either tonight or tomorrow night I will take a load down there and dump it. So, but first we got to get it loaded in the pickup. And Bear, what are you doing up on the roof? How's that looking? That's pretty much the bulk of everything I'm getting rid of today or tomorrow whenever I take it down there. We'll clean these leaves out of here, probably find a couple pieces of metal underneath there. The refrigerator needs to go. People drop refrigerators, but there's a lot of plastic in refrigerators, and those guys don't need the plastic, they just want the metal. So I may see about breaking that refrigerator down some. And these 2 old pressure tanks, I'm thinking one day I might make some kind of little wood stove out of them, so I don't want to get rid of those. And then this little dump trailer, even though it's collapsed and isn't worth much, the metal in it, flat pieces, I may have a use for those at some point, so I don't think I'll get rid of that. And then there was a couple of RV things that I decided to hold on to. And this ladder was in there in my pile too. And the only thing I find wrong with it is this is bent right here. I can straighten that and clean that up and sell that at our yard sale next year or whenever we have it. So let me get this cleaned up and I'll show you. That looks pretty good, right? I mean, way better than it did. I mean, I know I still got some leaves in there, but again, I'm not done with that area yet. And I know there's still some stuff that could be blown off, but it's way better than it was. I blew it all down into here. You can see the mower's running, and I basically spread it all out there. So next time I mow, which might be tomorrow, everything will be looking good. So that's it for this part of the project. It's Monday evening, about 7 o'clock, and going to dump the metal off. Look how smoky it is. Man, this is nasty. So when I dumped the metal off, I forgot to take any video of it, but I'm actually driving back that direction. You'll see it as I drive by. So this Jeep Liberty in front of me, what a dumb shit driving it. Don't you just hate people that don't know how to drive? Well, this person's one of them. Anyway, my wife had sent me to Taco Bell, so that was just up the road from where I dropped the metal off. Right there where that van is, it's right in front of him. Is he dumping or picking stuff up? There's my pile, you can see it. I know some of you are saying, God, that can't be legal. But this wrecking yard, they take metal and they don't care if you put it out front. I mean, the difference is you don't get paid for it, but you get a chance to dump it off and not have to deal with anybody. What they hate are people dumping stuff that they can't recycle, like tires. I would never do that, but there's always somebody that does. So you may be wondering, because I didn't say what all that metal was from. It was mostly from a couple of pickup campers that I disassembled, harvested some parts from. You know, I had full intention to take the metal in and recycling myself and get the money for it, but it's just such a hassle deal. It's a hassle deal with people is what it comes down to. Anyway, I didn't want to be bothered, and the price of metal just has never come back, so it's just not worth my time. I just wanted to get out of the way, because I might want to work on that Jeep one day. Who knows? That'd be good Procrastination Garage content. That's a wrap on this week's Procrastination Garage. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember, the number one goal of Procrastination Garage is to keep me motivated. To get me working in the shop, we did that. Working in the yard, we did that. Or heading up in the hills, we did that. Down in the comments, tell me about the projects you're working on, or better yet, tell me about the projects you're procrastinating about. I hope you come back next week. Remember, this is Procrastination Garage, and my name's Matt. See you then.